Hey, it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to talk about my top 20 favorite queer ships. So this list was very hard to make. I kept changing some of the rules. Like the first five, I got pretty easy. Was pretty confident. 6 to 10, I knew which ones was going to be there. It's just about placing them, and then the rest was really so that was fun. And I'll probably change my mind about this sometime in the future, especially when I fall in love with ships. And I might change my mind deciding I like this ship better than this one. But it was just really hard. Your preferences change, your ships change. So yeah. Um, but as of right now, this is what I decided on, and yeah. So number 20 is Santana and Brittany from Glee. I'm a little surprised they are this far back, but I don't watch Glee as much as some of these other shows. If I do, Santana and Brittany are, well, they are neck to neck with another Glee ship. It's like sometimes I prefer Santana and Brittany, sometimes I prefer Finn and Rachel. It's like up and down about which one is my favorite Glee ship, so they're about neck and neck. But I love Santana and Brittany. They are so amazing. I'm a sucker for best friends and lovers, anyways, and like they were just so close from the get go. And I love how they always like hold their pinkies together, and I love how Santana, like, she's the only one that never made Brittany feel stupid. She's the only one that always says that Brittany is a genius and really is smart, and she's the only one that makes Brittany feel like maybe she is. And then Brittany, like, during Santana's proposal, she's like, "You never wanted, you never wanted me to be a better person. You just wanted me to be myself, and you loved me for it." I absolutely love that. That's like I know at one point Brittany's like, everyone thinks Santana's such a bad person, but she's not, and they just see each other in a way that nobody else does, and it's just so beautiful. And I love their relationship. I love everything about them. Number 19, Isaac and Nigel from Ghost. I know they're no longer together, which makes me sad, but I did like them together, and it's one of those cases where Nigel did low key deserve better than Isaac, um, but I still really like them together. They had so many great moments, especially at the start of the show. I love when you first meet Nigel and you see them together, and it's like everyone knew that there was something going on, but like Isaac was so scared for anyone to know that he was gay, even though it was like so obvious. I love their first kiss. I love um when Isaac finally admitted in front of everyone that he really liked Nigel, and I just there's so many great moments between them. I love the proposal and stuff. I hate how they ended, and I mean I did see an interview once a bit ago where it's saying that this isn't the last we see of Isaac and Nigel, so maybe there's still hope for them. So we shall see. Number 18, I have Cleo and Frankie from Monster High G3. They are so adorable. I absolutely love it. So I didn't include non-canon ships because there is another Monster High ship that I absolutely love that is non-canon stuff. So if you guys want a non-canon queer ships, let me know. I could probably come up with 10 that I absolutely love and do a top 10 of those. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. I could probably do that because there are several. So there are several queer ships I love that are non-canon that are not on this list because this list is strictly canon. But I do love Cleo and Frankie. They're so adorable. I love um so many moments between them and how they started dating and how they are canon. They actually are canon, so I love that. And they were just so adorable to watch. And I know G3 gets some hate, but I'm a G3 defender forever. I absolutely love their relationship, so highly recommend. Number 17 is Carlos and Seth from High School Musical series. They're not my favorite High School Musical series couple, but they're probably number two. Yeah, I'd say they're my second favorite. But there's just I love how in the first season, like they had this immediate connection and they started rehearsing together, and they were so nervous and shy and awkward, and they were so adorable. And then in season two, they have a rough patch, unfortunately. And but I love this song that Carlos sings in a heartbeat, where he says that no matter what, he would choose Sam. And then season three, you don't see them a whole lot because they were at the summer camp that Seb wasn't part of. The Seb does show up at one point for their little prom thing they were doing, and so they had that movie. And in season 4, they did kind of. I don't like the direction they went just because I don't think Seb would have ever done that, and unfortunately, but it did bring in one of my favorite songs, which is "Over Again," that Seb sings to Carlos to get his forgiveness, and then Carlos joins in, and then it's a sweet moment. But I do love them. I do think they were done dirty a little bit, but and they were a little bit pushed to the side, unfortunately. But I do love them. And then number 16 is Callie and Arizona from Grey's Anatomy. I do love them, and I was surprised that they ended up a little bit further back. But considering that the show Grey's likes to ruin couples, maybe that makes sense. Because I love Callie and Arizona, but I hate the direction it went. But I hate the direction they went with a lot of couples. Like they don't know what to do sometimes, and instead of keeping a couple happy, they destroy them. Callie and Arizona are not my favorite Grey's couple, but they're probably top 3. I say I say they're probably top 3. Because I did like their relationship until they started going downhill. And I mean, I love how they start when Arizona's introduced and they start seeing each other, and how Arizona was there for Callie with everything going on with her father, and there's just us. Obviously, they had some rough patches even before the show. They went downhill because the show went on and on and on. But I love the when they got married. I love when they decided to raise their daughter together. And honestly, the plane crash was when they went downhill. But there was just so much about the relationship that I did love up to that point. And they had their moments after that point as well. But I do really enjoy them still, despite everything, and I do think they are a great couple. Then I have at 15 is Mark and Nathaniel from Miraculous. I love their relationship. And now that they're, I think, officially canon now, and I love that, which is why they're on this list. I absolutely love them. I love the relationship. I love how it starts off because Nathaniel has a crush on I don't care what anyone says. I don't even know if this is a theory one, but I think Barbara already had a crush on Nathaniel when he first introduced to these characters. Because if if I remember correctly, it's been a minute since I've rewatched Miraculous, but Mark kept like going up to Nathaniel trying to talk to him when Nathaniel was kind of interested in Marinette. And then when that whole thing plays out, Marinette gets Nathaniel and Mark to start talking because one of them is a I don't remember which one of them is a writer, the other one is artist. Oh wait, no, Nathaniel's the artist, Marcus the writer. So they get close and they start doing like comic books together. And then after that, they were kind of always in the background for the longest time. So you only see them in background moments for the most part, but you always see them together, always. And all the little moments we thought were so cute. But in season 6, they even get more time together, which is nice. And I hope we get even more of them. And I'm just falling in love with this couple, so they had to be on the list. I was surprised that they ended up jumping up a little bit to the top 15, but maybe I just love them. So, and then number 14 is Cynthia and Lydia from Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies. Underrated show, should not have been canceled. Forever agreed with that. But I love Cynthia and Lydia's relationship, seeing Cynthia coming to terms with being a lesbian and falling for Lydia. And it was so cute because at first when because she's forced to do the school play that and Lydia loves theater, so Cynthia hates it. Uh, so Cynthia's forced to do the school play, and she's been forced to be cast as the lead in Romeo and Juliet, and which Lydia did not like Cynthia, and Cynthia did not like Lydia. They had this like hateful relationship. They kept saying little things, little jabs, whatever, making fun of each other. But then Lydia's forced to help Cynthia in the role and like help her prepare and stuff. And then Cynthia was really nervous about the kiss, so Lydia's like, "Okay, let's kiss," so that you realize it's not a big deal. And then they kiss, but then they both end up really liking it. Lydia already knows she's a lesbian, but obviously this is what the 50s, so she can't exactly express it because it's still not exactly okay. Um, and Cynthia at first is funny. She's like, "Oh my gosh, she like really liked the kiss, and she doesn't realize that it's because she likes kissing a girl. She's like, oh my gosh, I must like theater," because she was in so denial. But then they kept practicing the kiss over and over and over again, like throughout their rehearsals. and because they just like to kiss a little too much. But Cynthia ends up freaking out when she realizes that she likes girls. She bails on the play. She freaks out. She decides to go out with a guy to prove that she's like likes guys because she starts to freak out. She has this internal crisis, and then she ends up hurting Lydia in the process. But that also brings up to Cynthia finally coming out to her best friend Nancy. Um, and I absolutely love that scene, and I love how Nancy handled it. And and then Cynthia has this amazing song, one of my favorites from the show, to Lydia about how she's all in, that she's all in and she's not gonna back out, that she wants to be with Lydia and stuff, because she had, and I just love their relationship. I wish we got season 2 and got to see more of them, especially now that they are officially dating. It took them the entire first season to start dating, and now, okay. Number 13 is Alex and Kelly from Supergirl. An underrated ship. I absolutely love Alex and Kelly. They do not get enough love. Um, I know a lot of people like Maggie. I was never a fan of her even before Kelly was introduced. I didn't like Maggie. I did not like Alex and Maggie together. But then Kelly was introduced. Loved her character. Loved Alex and Kelly. Absolutely. And you get to see them start dating. You get to see them get engaged and get married by the end of the show, and start fostering a daughter. And it was so adorable. And I love watching their relationship progress. And they were just, I absolutely loved their relationship, and they deserve love. They do. Um, then number 12 is Carlos and TK from 911 Lone Star. I absolutely love the relationship too. Um, TK was afraid to get close to Carlos at first, but Carlos fell for him very fast, and so it was. So you gotta see that. So there were some issues there at the beginning of the relationship, but then by season 2 they were pretty good. There were so many scenes that I love them. I love like the big one of my favorite episodes is the one where they have the fire at their apartment. Somebody wants to hurt both of their dads, and they find out that their sons are dating. So they're like, okay, we could just hurt them by killing their sons. But they were like making out and full on like about to have sex when the whole thing when they realized that there was a fire in their apartment. And I love TK's proposal to Carlos. Then you get to see them get married too, and they have so many amazing moments. Like I love seeing them get back together in season 3 as well, and I just love the relationship. Like they have their issues, but what couple doesn't? And they always get through it, and I love them so much. And then number 11 is Cheryl and Tony from Riverdale, another couple I love. Tony gets introduced in season 2, and it takes a little bit for her to meet Cheryl because her storyline starts off, which I love. You get Tony is introduced as meets Cheryl's love interest, like you get to understand the character before she even meets Cheryl, and they do not get off on the right foot. But then Cheryl's like she can be a horrible person sometimes, and Tony senses that there's more to her than just being a horrible person. And I love the sensational scene where she's like, you're not loveless, you're not deviant, you are sensational. And then after that, they get really, really close. And Tony risks everything to help Cheryl when she gets put into one of those I can't think of what they're called, but like conversion. That's the thing, conversion therapy things. And then one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite episodes of the entire show is the season 3 finale. Okay, season 3 is probably my favorite season. I think that's not a popular opinion because most people love season 1, but season 1 was not the best season. I will stand by that. It's not the worst either. It gets really bad after the time jump. But season 3 is the best. I will stand on that. And I love because they're both trapped in the cult, and so they're trying to escape. And Cheryl ends up getting Tony out, and then she closes the window because she knew that they would be able to catch them if they both just ran off. So she's like gives Tony this chance to run away, letting herself get captured. And then Tony is like preparing to like break down that cult to get Cheryl out, and it's just so adorable. They have so many amazing scenes. Like I love their relationship, and even though the show does, end not that great, I do like that they ended up together. They were like the couple that actually ended up together. They're my second favorite couple on the entire show, and I absolutely love them. Then number 13 is Alex and Cat. Or I already did that. But I'm a little behind. Number 10 is Tara and Willow. I was surprised that they're this far back, just because they were my favorite first queer ship, and they're my favorite Buffy ship, and they will always be one of my favorite ships. But I do think, even though I love them and they are my favorite Buffy ship, that Tara deserved better than Willow sometimes, because why are because like because why Tara is like, oh my gosh, she's my favorite character, and she went through so much. She's like what went through one of the she I don't even know how to put it into words. Apparently, she went through some of the worst things in the show. Only rivaling everything Buffy went through. Like, she's probably the only character that could rival what Buffy went through. Because first of all, you find out that her home life was crappy, and the way she was treated, the way she was taught that her magic was evil and that she was demon, so that she would never leave and that she would do whatever her family said. Like, that she was so much mentally abused, which is probably why when you first meet her, she's so afraid to even show her face. She has to stutter. She's afraid to speak. She is so terribly shy. She's so insecure. She thinks she's not that great. She thinks her magic is horrible, and and it and when you learn that in season 5, it's like mid-season 5 that you learn that, and then you look back to season 4 when she's introduced and look at everything up to that point, you're like, oh, I understand this character so much now. And even though they go on this whole thing about how powerful Willow is, I think Tara's very powerful. And I have this theory that I might have done a video on it before about how the only reason why she doesn't show that she's powerful like Willow is because even after she found out that she's not a demon and their family lied to her, that trauma stays with you. That she was it was ingrained in her brain that her magic was bad, which is why she didn't like when Willow used too much, because she was just trained that her magic was bad. So even though she now knows the truth, it's still hard for her to cope and hard for her to understand, yeah, I can actually use my magic without fearing of being evil. Because it's just ingrained in her brain. But it's just a theory. But so her parents did that, which played with her mind. Then Glory takes her mind because Tara refused to tell her who the key is. So she ends up going mentally insane for the ending of season 5, and Willow saved her, which is a scene I absolutely love. I love how she was like, Tara was like, I got so lost, and Willow was like, I found you. I will always find you. It was so beautiful. But then I know Willow ends up having like magic issues, the allegory for drug issues, but still no excuse. And she ends up erasing Tara's mind about the fight, so that they've been having about Willow using too much magic, so that their relationship is fine again. And then Tara finds out, gets mad at Willow, understandably so, and and that was around the same time she found out that Buffy actually was in heaven and not hell. Willow was just very selfish in a lot of ways, especially in season 6. And then she tries to do another spell to make them both forget, but then it backfires and everyone finds out the truth of what Willow did. And so Tara, understandably so, breaks up with Willow. And like one thing I absolutely love was something she mentioned in the song, 'cause she found out the truth in the musical episode. It's my favorite song on the musical episode. She says, I can't think of the wording now, but she basically says how, I've been through hell, and then you do this anyways. I don't remember exactly how it was phrased, but you know that I've been through a lot. You know my past, but yet you still did this to me, knowing what I've been through. And I love Tara, and I think she deserved better. But I do still love the relationship. I still do think they have great moments. It's just, I guess I got so mad at what Willow did to Tara because Tara deserves so much better. Yeah, but they do have so many amazing moments. I love the moment when Tara comes back, and it comes when they get back together, and then they're just so cuddly that entire episode until Tara gets shot and dies, and Willow goes evil. So there was all that. But they have so many amazing moments. I love when in season 4 when she finally meets the gang and Tara's like, or Willow's like, Tara's really powerful. Tara's like, no, I'm not. Willow's like, yes, you are. And she was just so hyping up Tara. It was so adorable. Or when the whole Oz comes back and then Willow has to make a choice and she ends up choosing Tara, and it was so beautiful. So yeah. And then number 9 is Sarah and Ava from Legends of Tomorrow, another ship I absolutely love. So you meet Ava in season 3, and they do not get along at all at first. They're complete opposites. Sarah is wild and does what she wants. Ava is very much follow the rules sort of person. And so, and especially since the legends do not get along with the Time Viewer very often, that kind of complicates the relationship a few times. Especially at one point when Sarah has to make a choice between doing what's right and doing what the Time Viewer wants, because Time Viewer was in the wrong, and Ava was following the Time Viewer. She only cared about rules, and she had this black and white vision of how all monsters were evil, but Sarah knew better, and it kind of put a strain in the relationship. They kind of almost broke up over that, but they were fine. I love when Sarah, the episode in season 3, shortly after they started dating, when Sarah was went all evil, and Ava was able to bring her back, but then Sarah broke up with her because she was like, I have this darkness in me, and you deserve better. And yeah, they have so many amazing moments throughout the show. I love Sarah's proposal; it was so beautiful, and their wedding, awesome. Uh, it was just so I love the relationship and how it progresses and how Ava becomes part of the team and how she ends up being co-captain with Sarah. It was just I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So definitely love their relationship. And then I have number 8 is Zoe and Rasha from Degrassi Next Class, an underrated ship. Absolutely love the relationship. So you don't meet you don't meet Rasha until season 3. Zoe you actually meet on Next Generation before Next Class, and she doesn't seem that great at first. She's like always with boys, and so you would never guess she's a lesbian, but she hides it obviously because she's very much afraid. But then um, around Next Class is around the time she starts realizing it. She has this crush on Grace, but then Grace, it doesn't get reciprocated. She gets upset, and she starts to think that she starts to try to hide that she's attracted to girls again. And when you find out about her mom and see all the hell she goes through, you understand why she wanted to hide it so much. But then she meets Rasha, and Rasha has feelings for her, and she has feelings for Rasha, and their relationship is so cute. I love their first date and their first kiss, and how and they dance at their wedding. How Zoe just wanted to be with Rasha, and when Zoe goes to Rasha's opening night, it's so adorable. And how Rasha was there for Zoe when her mom disowns her, so sad. How they become prom queens, and yeah, they just have such a great relationship, and we do not talk enough about it. Then number 7 is Alec and Magnus from Shadowhunters, another relationship I absolutely love. Another one where Alec was hiding who he was for the longest time, and his parents did not like him being with Magnus for a while. But less to do with Magnus being a boy and more with the fact that he's a warlock. But they have so many great moments. I love one of my favorite episodes was when Alec leaves his fiance to be with Magnus and their first kiss. So adorable. There's so many great moments leading up to that as well. And I love their proposal once again in their wedding. Their proposal was just amazing because Magnus found out what Alec was actually intending and then goes to chase him down, and I just love it. I love how Alec was willing to risk everything just to make sure Magnus feels whole, and yeah. But I love their relationship, as you can tell. And they just have so many great moments throughout, and how they both have different times willing to risk everything for each other, and yeah. Then what number are we on? Number 6 is Alex and Michael from Roswell, New Mexico. Another ship that I absolutely love. Alex is gay, Michael is bi, Michael's also an alien, and you find out that because you actually see them like there is the 10th year high school reunion, and that's why a lot of them are back in town. I think most of them stayed in town. Alex and main character, I can't remember her name now. Oh my gosh, been minutes since I watched the show. They are new. They haven't been in town for a while, and but you do get to see like what happened with Alex and Michael in high school, and they had so many moments. Like I absolutely love the relationship, and I saw this thing about how Michael technically stole Alex's guitar because he had a crush on Alex, and I love that headcanon. I don't, and the actor that played Michael actually kind of confirmed that that's the case. I don't know if that was intended to be the case, or they just made it happen afterwards, or what. But I love that. But they have so many great moments. I love the like I never looked away sort of thing, and then that was just so adorable. I love Alex's song too. I'm obsessed with it, and how when they finally get together in season 3, and then once again they have another great proposal and a great wedding, and they have so many great moments. How much they're willing to fight for each other. I love so Alex was hardly in season 4. Unfortunately, he's my favorite character. But that did lead to so many good Michael moments trying to get to him. Like I love when he was following to find and found the sequel, and how he was freaking out how he was going to like he needed to save Alex, and how much he wanted to save Alex once he got to Alex. Like chef's kiss. But yeah. Next is number 5, Elena and Sid from One Day at a Time. Another underrated couple. I'm obsessed with them. Elena and Sid are so great. I absolutely love their relationship. And yeah. I love how. So, you meet Sid in season 2, because a lot of season 1 had to do with Elena's coming out journey. It was her realizing that she was lesbian, and then her coming out to everyone. It went great in some ways, great, terrible in other ways. But then you meet Sid pretty early on in season 2, not the very beginning, but kind of early on. And at first, Elena introduces her new friend group to her family, and they had this activist group, is what it was. And they so and she actually had a crush on, I don't remember her name, she was only on that one episode. Um but but then at the end she finds out that girl had a girlfriend, and the Sid goes up to her, and the two of them have a moment, and then they start talking, and they start liking each other. So they decide to try going out. They go on a date. It was supposed to be this Comic-Con date, but then they end up not being able to go. Um, and I think that was the one because there was like an intruder in the house. I think that was the episode. So, intruder in the house. I mean, intruder in the area. So they were the apartment building was on lockdown, and so they get stuck. And but Elena was so nervous and freaked out. But they do end up having the first kiss, which was really lovely. There's so many great moments between them, like their whole first time conversation. Um, the Valentine's Day, which when they say "I love you" for the first time, and Elena's gift to Sid was just so beautiful. And then them deciding that they want to try and be together in college because their original plan was to break up because they didn't want to be one of those couples who thought their high school relationship could last, and but then they realized how much they care about each other and they don't want to break up, so they decided to try. So that was sweet. But yeah, I absolutely love the relationship, and I wish we got to see it more. I know that wasn't the focus point of the show. The focus point of the show was the Alvarez family, so they were put on back burner sometimes, but I absolutely love the relationship. And then number 4 is Alice and Robin from Once Upon a Time, another underrated ship. I absolutely love them. You only see them in the last season, unfortunately, but Alice is obviously Alice in Wonderland. Robin is Robin Hood's daughter, who is named after him because he died when she was a baby. And but I just love the relationship. Like from the moment of course, all the meet cutes on Once Upon a Time is kind of like awkward and not your exact meet cute, but it was so cute because Robin like held an arrow to Alice and then trapped her, and but then she does let her go, and then they start getting close. Robin ends up being able to pass letters between Alice and her father because unfortunately they cannot be anywhere near each other without Hook dying or the other Hook, this new Hook, the new version of Hook. Anyways, so because of that, Robin ends up helping them, but then you see them meet in this cursed town when Robin shows up, and they have this immediate connection, and because it's like they remember each other, which always happens. Like whenever the cursed people meet, it's like they have it's like they know each other. It's like they remember each other on some levels, and yeah. So you gotta see their relationship. They have so many cute moments. I love how Robin stood with Alice with her like moments that she tends to have. Um, and how Robin went to Alice to save her when she was like under that spell, um, and how they went to try to get help to save everyone. I love how Robin asked Hook for his permission to marry Alice. The only thing I wish is that we actually got a proposal. We did actually see the proposal, but we got Robin. But you know that's going to happen because you see Robin asking Hook for his approval, for his blessing, so that she could ask Alice to marry her. So that was sweet. But yeah, I do wish we got to see this couple more, but I still love what we got. And then number 3 is Jake and Devin from Chucky. I was just rewatching some of their scenes and I love them. Okay, it was so cute because they're so awkward at first. Jake has this obvious crush on Devin, and but it's what's so funny to me is that Devin keeps saying on numerous occasions, mostly to his mom, that he was like, I barely know the guy. Like we don't hang around in the same circles. I don't know him. But first of all, he ends up having his number because they text at one point when he's still claiming he does barely knows him, and he's constantly looking at him. He's constantly going to him, trying to make an excuse to talk to him, and defending him against his mom, proving his innocence. And when he claims to barely know this guy, but then he's also like, he would never do that, but you just said you barely know this guy. And he was like begging him to go to the Halloween party. He's just wants to see this guy, and he keeps saying, I don't know the guy, I don't know him. But then he turns around and he's like falling head over heels for him, and he doesn't even realize it for like the longest time. And it's the funniest thing to me because it's just over and over again where I don't know him, I barely know this guy, we don't run in the same circles, but then he's always looking to where he is. He's always trying to make excuse to talk to him. He wants him to go to the Halloween party. Like, why, huh? Uh, I just had to throw that out there because I think it's hilarious. And their first kiss was so adorable. And then they do have some rough patches. Season 2 especially, they have the rough patch. They go through a lot of trouble, especially over Good Chucky. But they get through it by the end of the season, and in season 3 they're stronger than ever. They're constantly together, constantly making out. They have their first time, and they're always together. And so I love when Jake is about to, die to go to the other world, and they have their conversation, and then he gets possessed, and then when they find out he gets possessed, and then when they bring him back, and they were so happy to see him. So many amazing moments. Love, love, love them. So yeah, just moments I had to bring up. So yeah, but they have become one of my favorite couples. I'm obsessed with. And then number 2 is Jasper and Wyland from Shadow and Bone. I absolutely love the relationship. I love the relationship in the book. I love the relationship in the show. Slightly different at times how their story is told, but they still have the same vibe. Flirty banter, and they just have so many great moments in the show that you don't see in the books, and I just love it. Like I love their first kiss on there. I also love the kiss when they make up later on. I love when they first see each other and Wyland's face, and I love the I kind of like your face scene, which was like a jab to a scene in the book, and then they just have so many amazing scenes. I love the moments in the when they're heading to their little hideout, and just was like, you don't have to be a part of this, and Wyland's like, I'm not going anywhere, and I love them. I love the relationship in the book show. I don't care. I just think the relationship is always well done. I am obsessed with them. Okay, they are one of my favorite ships of all time. This one and number one was kind of hard to choose, and I may change my mind. They're kind of neck and neck, just to let you know. But before I do number one, I'm gonna do some honorable mentions. So Francisca and Michaela from Bridgerton. I'm really loving their story, and they almost made the list, but then I changed some things around so they didn't. But heck, like I said, my feelings on this list is probably going to change. So at some point, especially after they get their season, we get to see their season play out. They may very well change, and they may end up being a part of this list. Emily and Maya from Pretty Little Liars. I was sad that I didn't add them to the list, but I probably would have if we got more of them. But Maya died at the end of season 2, unfortunately. But I do love the relationship. She was by far Emily's best lover. I don't care what anyone says, like by far. Kurt and Blaine from Glee. Another ship that I love. I knew they were gonna be honorable mentions though. I knew they weren't gonna make the list, but I do still love them. Levi and Nico from Grey's Anatomy. I love them too. I think they're underrated and I think they're overhated sometimes. But I do love the relationship. I do think it was ruined near the end, unfortunately. But there's just so much about them that I do still love. And then Ashlyn and Maddox from High School Musical series. I love their relationship. Ashlyn's journey to discovering she's bi, and her falling for Maddox. I wish we got more of them sometimes, but there's so much we did get that I love. I love their little duet that they had in season 4. Luna and Sam from Loud House. I wish we got more of that too, but of course, we focuses obviously a lot of family, not romances. We get Lori and Bobby sometimes. We get Lincoln with Ronnie Ann. And then we get Luna with Sam. I think those are the main 3 that we really get. You see sometimes with romances, but a lot of times don't last too long. But I absolutely love them. Yeah, they're so cute. And then, where am I? Rose and Julica from Miraculous, they are officially canon as well, and I actually love the relationship. Red and Dorothy from Once Upon a Time, I wish we got more of them. They have such a short story, but I do love what we got. I think that's an underrated opinion, but I do love them. Unpopular opinion, say. I do love what we get of them. I love when Red kisses Dorothy awake from the sleeping curse. I do love what we got of them. Adora and Katrin from She-Ra. They're not my favorite couple, but they're probably my second favorite couple on the show, and I do love them. Hen and Kara from 911, another amazing couple. Had to give them a shout out. Same with Charlie and Nick and Tara and Darcy. I just rewatched the show, and they are both great couples. Then I have Simone and Wilhelm. Still haven't actually finished season 3, so I need to do that. Okay. Charlie and Yuri from School Spirits. I love them as well. They almost made the list as well. Miles and Tristan from Degrassi, love them as well. Steph and Lena from the Fosters, they have a great relationship. Foster so many kids, and they're just amazing parents and couple. Then I have Darling and Apple because they're technically canon. And I wish we got more of them, unfortunately. And then Alex and Willie from Julian and the Phantoms. I wish we got more of them, but we only got 1 season. But they were so amazing. I actually love the relationship. There were so many things about them that I love, so many scenes. And I wish we got more of them because there's so much unresolved. And then number 1, Amity and Luz from the Owl House. Okay, I am obsessed with them. I wish we got more of them. That show was unfairly canceled, but I love them. Okay, I love everything about them. I love how you first they don't like each other at first, and a lot of it was more on Amity's side. Luz kept trying to make friends with her, and then Amity starts getting a crush on her, and she starts slowly becoming friends with these people. There's so I love to see when it's confirmed that Amity has a crush on Luz, but it was already kind of getting obvious that it was true, and then you can see Amity blush all the time, fumbling over words, and then by season 2, you start seeing them lose, and I have this theory. Okay, I was talking to my sister because I showed her Owl House and she fell in love with it, and Amity and Luz as well, and my sister agrees with my theory that even though Amity's the first one that noticed her feelings for Luz, I have this theory that Luz is actually the one that fell first. She just didn't realize she was bisexual. so she didn't realize she had a crush on Amity. But there were so many times that she wanted to get close to Amity, despite the fact that Amity wasn't always nice to her. Or even when they started sort of becoming friends, like Luz was just so obsessed with being close to Amity. And it's like I think that Luz had feelings for Amity from the get go, and she just didn't realize it because she didn't realize she was bisexual. And then once they started getting closer and closer, she started being like, "Oh, wait a minute, I think I have a crush on this girl." But yeah, I love when Amity saved Luz from like her parents, and there's just so many moments between them. I love when Amity kisses Luz on the cheek after she dyed her hair. I love their first on-screen kiss. Oh my gosh, I love when they first ask each other out. That was such an amazing scene. I absolutely loved it. They just have so many amazing scenes. I can't get into all of it, obviously. Season 3 they have some great scenes where you get to see them as a couple. Trying and I love Amity getting to see the human world, especially since we got to see Lucy. So they got to see each other's worlds, which was awesome. And there's just so many times that I just absolutely love them. And yeah, so I love the relationship progress, and I love watching it play out and how amazing they are and how they would fight for each other and do anything for one another. I love it so much. So yeah. But I highly recommend Owl House if you haven't watched it. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tell me your favorite queer couples. And if you guys want me to do a top 10 non-canon queer couples, I am definitely up for doing that because I already have several in mind that will be on that list. So let me know. And I'll try to guys below in the comments. Until next time.